The Update, I'm Emma Stig. Little Cleo Smith is back with her family following her dramatic rescue by WA police. The 4-year-old was found locked in a room inside a home in Carnarvon 18 days after being snatched from her family's tent at a remote campsite. A 36-year-old man has been taken into custody for questioning. One of the 4 police officers involved in the early morning raid has described his shock and elation at finding the little girl alive. Detective Sergeant Cameron Blaine says they burst through the door to find Cleo sitting alone in a room.
We turned around and walked out of that house, and the officer I was with called Cleo's parents and said, "We've got someone here that wants to speak to you." And it was a wonderful feeling to be able to make that call.
The PM says France needs to move on after the failed submarine deal was played out on the world stage. The French ambassador has now accused the Australian government of stabbing France in the back by dumping the $90 million contract. But Scott Morrison is making no apologies for putting Australia's interests first.
We made the decision we needed to make in Australia's national interests. We understand the concerns and objections that have come in relation to that. They were understood when we made the decision, and this was the decision Australia needed to make in our national interests.
More than 36 million COVID vaccines have been administered since the rollout began in February. 147,000 shots were given yesterday, with Australia fast approaching a double-dose vax rate of 79%. Facebook is shutting down its facial recognition system and will delete its database of face prints. And the federal government is under pressure to cancel the backpack attacks after the High Court ruled it is invalid. In sport, the NRL has locked in venues and the dates for the 2022 State of Origin series. Game 1 will be held at ANZ Stadium in Sydney on June 8. Game 2 will be played in Perth on June 26, and Game 3 will be held at Suncorp Stadium in Queensland. Next week's World Cup qualifier between the Socceroos and Saudi Arabia will be played in front of a full-capacity crowd in Sydney, and champion trainer Chris Waller has decided to spell Melbourne Cup winner Very Elegant following her heroics at Flemington. In entertainment news, Britney Spears' dad has given up fighting the pop star over her conservatorship. Britney's lawyer has also asked to question Jamie under oath about how his daughter's money was spent. A Drake impersonator has been hitting the clubs in LA, even performing a song while out. The fake Drake making it clear he's not the real deal, despite confusing some fans. And the Williams sisters say they knew their biopic would be a hit when Will Smith agreed to play their dad. The story of Serena and Venus is set to hit cinemas later this month. That's the latest from the Nova Podcast News team, but we'll see you tomorrow morning for another episode of The Update.